Okay, well, it's a flexed lesion. So what can it do?
Extend.
Can't extend. So I have to make her extend. So I just said, okay, that means I push this leg back. I let those shoulders go back, as opposed to any other shoulders she might have. Okay, and then I had to figure out what I had to do after that. And again, I had no idea why I was doing what I was doing. So flex to the floor. Oh, I asked her to pull her foot towards the floor. Cool. Okay, so let's look at why that worked. Okay, you want me to do the whole sequence? Did you start that at the beginning? So flex to the floor meant when you have the person come up on their elbows, the positional diagnosis is FRSR, if my right thumb came back. So I put their right side on the table. That's what the first flex to the floor stood for. And the second part was that they were going to pull their foot towards the floor. And then I knew it was a flex lesion, so everything had to extend. And that's all I knew. But it worked. So let's see why it worked. Okay? If it was flexed, rotated, and side bent to the right, what can it not do? Extend, rotate, side bend to the left. Okay, so I have her in extension. I have her here. Which rotation is this? Left rotation, that's towards her barrier, correct? And when I bring the foot up towards the ceiling, because she's going to pull her foot towards the floor, that is left side bend. So is she in her motion restriction? Yes. And I'm palpating at the correct segment back here, and I'm standing in front of her. I'll show you how to do it in a second. And then what did I say? Her foot pulled to the floor. What was the thing I said? I wish somebody had told me this about muscle energy. Ask the patient to create a contraction away from the barrier. So I've got her in the barrier, and the contraction is away from the barrier. And that's why it worked. Just like now, Freud's third law said that when you introduce motion in one plane, it reduces motion in the other planes. So when I set people up, I say, let's just call it L5 for now. So I'll find that L4, 5 into space. I'll go to L5. We're still doing FRS right. Okay. I'll open that up here with flexion. So that's my first barrier. I'll bring that into the extension barrier. I put my knee there so that it doesn't slide away from that barrier. Okay so far? Then I let her shoulders roll back. That's to get the rotation to the left barrier. So far so good. And then I bring her foot up towards the ceiling. I don't have much to go there, folks, because I've already loaded that joint in all three planes. So I only have to bring her foot up just a nudge, and I can feel that under my finger. Okay? And then I want to back away just a little bit because you don't want her slammed into the barrier. You want to nudge the barrier. Don't slam it into the barrier. And then her effort is going to be, you're going to bring your heel towards the floor. So if I let her move, it would look like this. Right? But I don't want to let her move because then I destroyed my barrier. Right? So hold for me. And she counts 6. 1. Or I count 6. It's good for me. 2. Keeps your brain active. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then she takes a deep breath. And then out she goes. And she might let her shoulders roll back. And I don't think you're going to get everybody in that much extension if they've really got this dysfunction. I'm going to open that set up a little bit more. I might try to push this leg back a little bit. If you can't do it that way, the other way that some people will do it is they'll put one hand under here and bring them into a little bit more extension that way. Okay? And then get that extension barrier. I'll get that side bending barrier by bringing this foot up again. But again, there's not much left there.